What's up guys, Belamy Prime here, and welcome to another episode of Prime Survival. Last episode, we built ourselves our monster spawner, and since you guys last saw, we actually doubled it, so we ended up building an exact copy of it on the other side, just to make it a little bit more efficient here. So to show you guys, on top here, we have our hopper clock that we made. We kind of just split it into two paths, and it's powering both sides here, so they're running completely in sync. And if we go ahead and pop up here onto our little platform, if I can land on it, there we go. Alright, and jump in here, you'll be able to see just how well this has actually been working. It's, the same as what it was last episode, except it's, there's two of them now, so it's been working double as good, basically. So, yeah, it's spawning quite a few monsters, and, yeah, it's getting a lot of drops. So, what I'm actually going to have to do here is I'm going to have to go ahead and extend this storage system, because after about an hour of AFKing here, it's almost already full. So what I'm going to have to go ahead and do is I'm going to clear out all these chests, go fill up all my storage in my house, in the chalet down there, and then I'm going to come back and extend this with a few more chests, just so we can afford to AFK. If we AFK there for a couple hours, we're not just going to fill up and all the hoppers are going to get jammed or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this up with a whole bunch of chests and get this going. And then we're going to do a little bit of work on this, because like I talked about when I actually filmed the episode of making our one on the right here, we're going to actually try and make this look like it's a bit more of a part of the world. Because as it stands right now, it doesn't look too terrible up here on top of the mountain. We got the, the cool looking rings up here. And then we got the rings of the hoppers down below. And it doesn't look terrible, apart from the fact that there's a huge kind of plate above it that's just floating up there. We're going to go ahead and try and see if we can't integrate this into the landscape a bit better. And we talked about how exactly we wanted to do that in last episode. And I'm thinking about kind of extending this kind of this diamond shape all the way down to the base here, so it kind of looks like a coil all the way down. So I'm thinking about doing kind of smaller versions of those, just so it doesn't actually mess with the spawner itself. And let's see here. I've got a whole bunch more iron blocks. We spent some time AFK at our iron farm, or in range of our iron farm, so that was running. And we got quite a bit more iron, and we can go ahead, and I'm thinking about building some kind of smaller versions of this. I'm thinking something kind of along these lines, just doing like a small something like this, all the way from here, all the way up to the base of this one, and just kind of doing that the whole way up. I'm not sure if it's going to look good or bad, or how it's going to look, but I think I'm going to go ahead and do it. And, yeah, we built these kind of glowstone pillars, because I figured if we build these all the way up, the glowstone's going to keep it nice and lit, and it kind of looks like gold, which kind of fits in nicely with a kind of electrical theme, in terms of the metal out of the iron, gold components in an electrical board or something like that, and is and kind of silly looking, but since we put the red X on the first one we built, I went ahead and put a blue kind of minus here, so it's kind of like positive and negative. It looks kind of cheesy and kind of weird, but it was either do something fun like that or kind of just remove the red X here, because I didn't like the plus sign there. So let me know what you guys think about that. It just kind of looks like giant batteries in the sky at the moment, with silly little plus and minuses on them, but yeah, you guys get the idea. We'll probably most likely build this from the top down though, and we'll do that in the form of a time lapse. But before we go ahead and start anything crazy like that, we're going to go ahead and move all of these materials over into our house, and then extend this storage system a bit. So I'll be right back while we go ahead and move some of this over. Alright, so we're just flying back to do another trip to empty out all the chests up here on the mob spawner, and we can see from a distance, it doesn't actually look too bad. It does have that kind of coil vibe going for it, so I think once we fill in a bit more of this single glowstone pillar here with a bit more coil aesthetically looking pieces here, it might actually look pretty cool from a distance, and we'll be able to dress it up a bit more. Thinking about using some kind of glass pieces. Oh, there we go, it's working a charm. I'm thinking about putting some kind of stained yellow glass pieces around to make it look kind of like electricity flying off it or something, and then maybe turning the platform up on the top there with all the redstone and stuff on it into some kind of big circular things, but we'll see how that goes. Let's go ahead and remove the rest of this first, because we got a bit of a clogged system here we have to deal with. Alrighty, so now that we've dealt with the storage issue and unclogged a little bit of that, we're going to go ahead and dig out a little bit underneath this chest here and just fill it in with a few more extra chests to kind of alleviate this this little bit of a problem here. So we're going to have to go ahead and dig 2 whole blocks downwards, and we can simply go ahead and fill in another chest here with some more hoppers. And there's a few different ways to do this, but what I'm actually going to do is something a little bit weird here. And I'm going to go ahead and clear this out like so. And then we're going to, we'll replace that torch. We don't have anything spawning here. Let's go ahead and grab our hoppers. I'm going to go ahead and place 2 hoppers off of this one. No, that's not how that's going to work. We'll have to actually place the chests. We'll place the chest facing inwards. It really doesn't matter. Oopsie. I should probably actually connect that one up, like that. And then we're going to go ahead and put 1 hopper like that, and then we'll put another chest on this side the same way and put another hopper into that one. So this chest should empty into these 2, and then we can go ahead and connect another one onto there. But I think for now, that's just going to be a super simple way for us to kind of extend that a little bit, and we can just leave those chests sitting in the ground like that, and that'll empty up this chest and give us a whole additional 2 chests worth of storage. I can go ahead and throw another 2 in here as well, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Later on, we may actually do some kind of auto filtering sorting system here, but I'll leave that for a future episode solely on its own, and we'll just keep this super basic today. So we're going to go ahead and place another 2 chests like so, and then we'll place another one here. And I just realized I've boxed myself in. I'll just have to jump down there when I'm done. But let's go ahead and we'll take our hoppers. Place a hopper facing that way from this chest above, and 1 facing here from that chest. And then we'll have to dig down 1 here just to get out. And we'll have to go, we'll just fill this in. Doesn't necessarily have to be filled in, but it's absolutely no problem. And then we can go ahead and just fill that in, and we'll go jump, boop, and we'll fall down into our water down here. There we go. Alright, so that's dealt with. Should be working all nice and fine. Jumping down here is going to spawn a whole bunch of mobs, so it'll mess with our spawner a little bit, but we're in no dire need for monster drops as of right now, so I'm not too fussed about that. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is sleep to turn it to daytime, so all the monsters on the ground despawn or burn up because of the sun, and I'm going to go ahead and go off now and just kind of plan how I want to kind of build this, and then we might bring our spectator account in here and sort ourselves a bit of a time lapse for this build we're going to do here, and then we'll come back afterwards and discuss it. So be right back, guys. Alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed the time lapse. It's just about to break into night here, so I'm actually going to go ahead and sleep really quickly, and then we'll kind of show from our point of view how the build looks so far. I don't think I'm quite done. There's still quite a bit I want to add. For starters, I obviously, like we talked about in the start of the video, want to add a bunch of yellow glass everywhere to kind of simulate lightning coming off this, or electricity everywhere. So we'll get into that eventually here, but that's it for the time lapse so far. What did you guys think? I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it looks good. These kind of big wait, what do you call this shape? These big toruses up here, I think is what this shape is called. These kind of hollowed out circular spherical looking shapes up here took a little bit longer than what I was anticipating, actually, and it was a lot more complicated than what I thought it was going to be because I crossed two of them over in the center. If you guys are curious how I kind of pulled this off, I used an amazing website called plots.co.uk. I'll put a link in the description for any of you guys who want to muck around and plot yourself out some shapes like this in your own Minecraft world. It looks really good from the top. The only downside with this so far is I don't think it looks as good from the bottom because it's still filled in with all of this granite, and it's also not lit up, so you can't see it as well from the bottom. So I think what I might do to make that look a little bit better later on is I'll remove all of the granite and replace it with potentially yellow glass, and then just put like white carpet or something above that glass, so it still acts as a shade over the top of the spawner, so the spawner still works absolutely fine, but it'll look a bit nicer than I think just the brown granite there. And yeah, I'm super happy with this, and if you look at it from a distance, I think it looks pretty cool. I think the only thing we really need to do is kind of connect this to the mountain a bit. So we need to kind of connect the bottoms of the hoppers here in a kind of way to the mountain. I don't know if I'll make like big stilts that are coming off the mountain to kind of connect that. But for now, I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. I'll go ahead and fly far way out here, and we'll get a good view of it when we fly back in. Alright, there we go. I think that looks really cool. Looks like two huge electric pylons on top of the mountain here. But yeah, like I said, we kind of need to secure it to the mountain in a way because it kind of looks... It's almost the same size as the mountain / obelisk itself. And yeah, as of right now, it doesn't look super realistic in the way that it's connected to it. So whether I'll connect it from all the way up here and put like big struts down to the mountain, we'll see. Maybe I'll do that in another kind of time lapse. But that's going to take a little bit of measuring and a little bit of messing around for me to kind of get that and get it looking nice. So we'll see how I'll have a think about it, how I'm going to do that, and maybe we'll muck around and do that either later in the episode or in another episode completely. But so far, I'm pretty happy with it. I think the little mini struts we put all the way down, I might go ahead and actually put a slightly different color on them potentially. Maybe I'll line the entire thing with torches so it looks like a little bit of a sparkle from the distance. But they're nice and lit up, which is really cool. It's a real shame that we can't actually light up the upper parts here because it's all dark and then it goes super bright. But obviously we can't light that up because it'll mess with the spawner. So that's unfortunate. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking now. We're going to end the episode there. If you enjoyed the video and enjoyed the time lapse, leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell so you get notifications when the new episodes come out every single day. And I will see you guys in the next episode of Prime Survival. Cheers, guys.